Good evening, Bethany family. I hope you guys are enjoying this
Like
Monday. It is
I said good
definitely,
morning.
it is definitely a Monday. I was going to say warm because it's the chilly
Yeah.
one. It's a chilly one, but that's what this month of April's all about. They say April showers bring those May flowers. So, it may be rainy here right now, but just seeing you guys and coming on here and fellowshipping with you guys, it just makes the Mondays feel so much better. So if you guys do not know what this is the recap where we like to come and fellowship with you. And we just came off of Passion Week 2022. So much has happened within the last week that
Yeah.
we cannot wait to discuss with you. But before we do that, it's always customary that we take this time to really just shout out you guys, and also take this time to let you come on in and let us know where you're tuning in from. These recaps, we like getting up here, we like talking, but you guys make it 10 times better with your conversation, with your comments and concerns or questions about Passion Week or the series that we're in right now, right? So we want to hear from you. So as you guys are coming on in, as you're pressing that watch button, make sure that you press that like button as well as that comment button, and leave a comment. Let us know how you're feeling today, where you're tuning in from, and if this is your first time, please make sure that you put that VIP in the comments, because if this is your first time, we want to show you a good time. When you go to a restaurant, you have high expectations. A new restaurant, I say, a new
Yeah.
restaurant, it's your first time, you have high expectations. And those high expectations, if you meet those high expectations, you keep going back. And that's the same way we want for you right now for the recap. So, we want to show you that love. We want to shout you out. We want you to make it feel like you're in the living room right with us, or in your car, wherever you're tuning in from. So make sure that you put that VIP in the comments so we can shout you out and show you a whole lot of Bethany love. And then also, I always say, Sister Mai always says, everyone always says, especially Bishop Pastor Nick, make sure that you are sharing the content as well, because it's just a simple thing that you can do. Bishop talked about in the beginning of before his sermon this Sunday for 8 o'clock service. He talked about the importance of staying connected. And if you don't have a church home and you want to be connected with the church home, you can still be active during this time, even if we're closed physically, right? You can still be active and still do ministry work. And that's a part of the ministry, by sharing God's word. By you clicking that share button, it really may bless someone's morning, not morning, Monday today, or
Mhm.
someone's morning tomorrow, no matter when you may watch it, right? Right, Sister
Absolutely.
Mai?
Absolutely. You never know. I think clicking your share button is something that we often take for granted because we
Yes.
can do it so absent-mindedly.
Hmm.
But it really does have a big impact. You never know who by, clicking your share button is going to be blessed by the content that you shared. So, definitely there is value. We're not just telling you this because we want the stats or whatever, but really
Right.
because we know that it may bless someone. So it's,
Hmm.
it's worth it to go ahead and click that share button, right, Gab?
Yes, absolutely. So please make sure that you click that share button and let someone know that we are on today. So as I go on and do my own duties and share myself. I want to hear from you guys. How was your weekend? How did you enjoy Passion Week 2022? Again, we are going to dive deep into that and talk about that. But we want to hear from you guys. What just stood out to you? How did you enjoy Easter service? Did you join us for outside service at 11 o'clock? How did you enjoy being back on the grounds and just worshiping
Yeah.
together collectively? Let us know right now as we share. But Sister Mai, before I go to share, I am going to ask you the question, because I've seen all the hard work that social media has done. And wait, that actually reminds me, I do want to give a big shout out to everyone that participated in Passion
Yeah.
Week 2022, from the media, from social media, from the deacons, from
Yeah,
the
they did.
ushers, and yesterday's service. There's so many people to shout out, but it was such an amazing service. It was such an amazing week. Shout out to CFAM as well, the worship team, and of course, Bishop and Pastor Nick. Shout out to everyone, because it made Passion Week feel so good. But for you, what stood out for you, Sister Maya? What do you want
Oh
to
my
say?
goodness. So much. This week was just amazing to see, the visual aids in terms of the videos and the different creative elements that we included this year.
Yes.
Of course, along with the messages, and then to cap it all off, service yesterday, uh being back in person, outside and seeing everyone and seeing the ushers and everyone that makes church church. It was great to see everyone yesterday. But yeah, it was a great week. Um, Passion Week is always one of my favorite times of the year. Outside of Christmas is like bookends. So it was a great weekend.
I love that. I love that. And yes, I do want to say that it was such an amazing time. I loved our virtual service at 8 o'clock, and then it just prepared us for 11 o'clock service. Just speaking to some people and seeing their faces, and seeing people that you haven't seen in a while was such a beautiful thing. But shout out to everyone that put it together, and just came out and celebrate with us. It was cold, but people were determined to get back there and worship God and get that word and get that worship in. And I'm just excited because that was just the first of many services that are to
Mhm.
come. And if that was our first service, then I can only imagine how how every other service is going to be. So
Yeah.
please, again, let us know what stood out to you for Easter, Easter service, as well as Passion Week, right?
Yeah, it was really special. Several people, this had been the first time that they've been back to church in 2 years.
Yes.
So there was definitely energy in the air of people walking in and shouting and just being in praise just because they're back on campus,
Hmm.
So it was really special. And before we get too far into this conversation, I
Go
just want to
ahead.
give a shout out to everyone who's joining us. So Keisha,
Yes.
Kife, Sylvia, we see you guys. Thank you so much for joining, and to everyone else who's watching, because we have some people who didn't say where they were tuning in from.
Oh, come on now.
Let us know, guys. We want to
Oh,
welcome
my
you as
secret
well.
watchers. Let us know if you are watching. Just you can drop an emoji or something because we want to shout you guys out. So it's good seeing our
Yes.
faithfuls. But if you are watching, tuning in, put something in the comments. Or if you're going to watch a little bit later, maybe after work or something, make sure you
Mhm.
put something in the comments so we can shout you out, right? But I can just say Passion Week for me, like you said, Sister Mai, um, it is one of my favorite times when it comes to just my relationship with Christ,
Yeah.
as well as the church, because it's it just hits back home because it reminds you of what Jesus did for us.
Hmm.
And not that it humbles us, but it grounds us,
Yeah.
because we may go through so much throughout the year. And I know we are still in the middle of 2022, but we had last year and everything. But it just seeing the visual aids this year, having a message with the visual aids as well. I'm a visual learner, so I love seeing it, was such a beautiful thing because it it helped you make the connection with what Bishop and Pastor Nick were talking about,
Yeah.
um, and just seeing that element really had you thinking and really prepared you for Easter. And what I'm loving that they've been saying for the past 2 weeks um, when it came to Easter service,
Sorry.
it it also showed us that it's just not a day. This is an Easter season, and Bishop
Right.
talked about this is a redemptive season, right?
Mhm.
And that's how we should look at it. We shouldn't just look at it like it's a holiday where we just come together and just eat and stuff like that. But no, it's a season of being redeemed, a season of growth, a season of just love and just loving on one another, right? So that for me this week, that's what stood out for me, is that this week was just a week of just humbling experiences and just reminding us of what this holiday is about, what this season is about.
Mhm.
So, I loved it. So I
Yeah.
want to hear from you guys. What stood out to you? What did you love about Passion Week 2022?
Mhm.
There was a lot of things that happened behind the scenes that make it to what it was today, and it was beautiful. And
Yeah.
Sister Mike, I want to ask you, because you were one of the ones behind the scenes that was doing a lot of the work. When it comes to that, when it you see what happens behind the scenes, and then when it's displayed and when it's demonstrated, and just making that religious connection with it, like what does that do for you? Like, I know it, like you're just filled with it, and also you're like, oh my gosh, it's a lot. But how does that help you,
Yeah.
especially with your walk with Christ?
No, I mean, it certainly is a lot of work, but when it's something that you're passionate about and you know that it's bigger than just you, It makes it all worth it. So that's kind of where I was this weekend, and just seeing everything play out and how it impacted people.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about this before, for Transforming Lives Month.
Mm-hmm.
Um, sometimes we get so stuck in, thinking there's only one way to
Yeah.
let people know about God or Christ, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we get lost in that. It makes us nervous, makes us anxious to do, but there's so many ways to have that impact. So for me personally, being able to do, well, anything that I do, here as part of the social media team, but in particular for the videos last week, that was my witnessing
Mm-hmm.
to people. And so it was, like you said, it was humbling,
Mm-hmm.
to know that, like I said, this is going to be much bigger than
Mm-hmm.
me. And to get the word out and to work with the volunteers and music ministry and everyone else, who all helped and assisted in different ways, but for that common good, right?
Yeah.
And that's what being a Christian, for lack of better words,
Yeah.
is. We all have different backgrounds, we all have different gifts and tools and talents, but it's to serve one God, to come together and do that. So it really was beautiful to be able to assist in the production of everything,
Mm-hmm.
but also it was beautiful to see, like I said before, just the impact of it too.
Yeah, and that is true because and this is why, I know Bishop, he always says it over and over again. And it's like a parent teaches us things, they say things over and over again until it finally sticks. But that's the beauty of, tithing your time and tithing
Mhm.
your talents, because your talent, you may think that, your talent isn't going to help with anything, or that your time, it may
Yeah.
be a day out of the week, it may be 30 minutes on a meeting, a Zoom meeting or something. You may feel like it's not going to have an impact, but it does. And
Mhm.
we learned that with this season of Passion Week 2022, that everyone brought a different piece to the puzzle, and it made it to what it was today, and it had such a major impact. And that's why I feel like it's so important that we have to remind ourselves of, when it comes to tithing that time and tithing that energy and tithing those talents, because we have so many talents hidden that, we sometimes miss our blessings when it comes to it, right?
Mhm.
When we
Absolutely.
don't tithe that.
I think sometimes we think that we're not qualified or we don't have the experience to be able to have such big impacts,
Yes.
but, it's the little things
Mm-hmm.
that can make the most change. So just like you said, Cap, to be able to help out and to sow that time and that talent, even though it might not mean anything to you, it can have
Mm-hmm.
such a big impact in the lives of others. So,
Mm-hmm.
definitely, want to encourage everyone, don't limit yourself. That's what the whole I Am Possible series was
Yes.
about, just to be able to see yourself and what you can do. And if there is a way that you can think, that it can, uh, serve the greater good,
Mm-hmm.
definitely don't hesitate or be afraid to
Mm-hmm.
act on it.
Yeah.
There's so many ways, even just in volunteering at the church,
Mm-hmm.
that by just being involved and being present, you can really make a big change in the lives of others.
Amen. Amen. And like you said, I love it because the I Impossible series has set us up for this, the Secret Place series, and has prepared us for this Resurrection Sunday, this Easter season. And we learned that this week Bishop talked about, have this is a redemptive season, right?
Mhm.
So for you, what do you think God is trying to teach us in this redemptive season? Because for me, just based off like what you said, like everyone coming together and helping when it came to putting the production together, I feel like after yesterday's service, after 11 o'clock service, it showed me the power of unity.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's what God is trying to get us back to, because I feel like we lost a lot of that when it came to the pandemic and being away from people and stuff like that. And it just showed that when we come together, how powerful things can be.
It's nothing like,
And
yeah.
yeah, and like when we were out there, and people, I was talking to some people, and they were talking about how happy they were to just be out there with other Christians and just being able to worship, or just seeing someone. Because sometimes you have all different types of worshipers. You have those that do a little clap, or you have those that is praising the Lord, but you have those that are also spectators, and they're seeing and they get blessed by someone else's worship or something, they get filled up by someone else's excitement. So I feel like that's a piece that we miss as well. So I feel like he's teaching us in this season of the beauty of the unity, the beauty of just loving on your neighbor, and that true saying of saying when two or three gather together, he is present.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's what he's trying to teach us in this season of, this redemptive season, that things can be redeemed. I feel like a lot of us feel like a lot of things have been lost during the season. Maybe our loss in a relationship with Christ, where we don't spend as much time with God anymore, where we don't pray as much as we used to, or we just are just away from it because we feel like we're away from the church. I feel like a lot of people are feeling like they have lost a lot of things. Because I feel like that at some times where I'm just like, oh, I don't feel the same like I felt pre-pandemic, where I was going to church and going
Yeah.
to Bible study, and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
I feel like that's what he's teaching us in this season, that those things are not lost. We just have to tap back into those things.
Absolutely, and I
Right.
I think I think the pandemic really showed us how much we take for granted,
Mm-hmm.
because I will speak for myself and myself only. There had definitely been days like, "Oh, man, I don't feel like going to church today. Let's keep it real. I'm
Yes.
tired. I
Mm-hmm.
wanna sleep in." You know? So to go from that to not being able to have
Yeah.
church as we know it, that was a big change, and I think being in that period where we just weren't able to do it
Mm-hmm.
allowed us to see the value in that collective worship and prayer,
Amen.
right? And
Yeah.
so my prayer is that now coming back into things, as we
Yeah.
are, starting with our outdoor service, that we will have that be even more of a special moment,
Yeah.
something that is truly special and is
Mhm.
sacred, right?
Yeah.
So I think, it definitely opened our eyes in that aspect. But yeah, there is nothing like being together as a church family. Bishop's been talking about this and
Mm.
in the secret place, and how part of that secret place is in your relationship with others,
Yeah.
who are there to ground you and encourage you in our faith walks.
Yeah.
So to see that again yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I think it just re-energized me,
Yeah.
you know, and um I don't know, there's just nothing like it.
Yeah, no, it truly is a blessing, and it was a great feeling as well. Like I said, just talking to people and just seeing it and
Mhm.
witnessing and just hearing from people. It was a beautiful thing, and it just,
Yeah.
it's like a we put new batteries in our back, like,
Yeah,
oh, charge
yeah,
back up, like fully charged now.
yeah, and I
Right?
think that in, connection with what we're doing now as a Connections Church,
Yes.
it just broadens everything because it
Mm-hmm.
allows us to, have a space where we can come and worship together, right?
Mm-hmm.
In person, but also still stay connected to people who are online and can't make it here in person, but
Mm-hmm.
now have the opportunity to,
Yeah.
once we reopen. But yeah, I love my church family.
I love it. I love it. So, like somebody is saying, the Connections Church, if you are geographically locked out and you are longing for that relationship with Christ, or you're looking for a church home that's going to help you grow, not just, spiritually, but also, help you grow with your wisdom and just that closer relationship with Christ, you can always join the Connections Church. It literally is the church without the physical building, like it's
Mhm.
without the building. It's everything that we do in the building online. So if you are geographically locked out, please make sure that you do join the Connections Church. You get the classes, you get the ministries, you get, talks on there. You get to talk to the ministry leaders and everything. So everything that we experience in the church, you get online. So please make sure that you stay connected with us by joining Connections Church. So Bishop talked about this redemptive season, and talked about how we are bound by there's two different types of bondages, right? So there's the internal and the external, right?
Mhm.
And we tend to allow these bondages to really hold us down and keep us grounded without moving and without growing, right? So what I really love that Bishop talked about is that those internal bondages, because
Mhm.
I think that for us, we tend, like, I'll just say for me, I tend to be in my head a lot.
Mhm.
So I know there's a lot of internal things that I battle with, um, that really stop me from doing things that God probably put in place for me. I'll just use social media as an example. I hated talking in front of people
Me
prior
too.
to this. I really did. Like, I really like public speaking. Like in college, I'll be good with, doing presentations and stuff like that because I had to do it for a grade and everything. But when it came to like public speaking and everything, I'm like, oh,
I am a behind the scenes girl, so just the fact that we're doing this right now.
right. Like
Right.
it's just like,
Yeah, I'm with you,
and
Kev.
it's just, this is something that I'm saying, like, this was an internal battle, something that held me down, like a bondage that held me down for years,
Mhm.
where I was just like, I hated talking in front of people, because you never know what people are thinking in their heads, like you just never know. So I say all that to say that if I still had that thinking, if I still allow that to control, my destiny and my purpose, I probably would not be doing this right now.
Mhm.
So that's what I love that Bishop talked about, because this is the redemptive season and we are being redeemed in the season. And there are things that we are allowing to happen internally as well as externally to stop us from, accessing that all that God has for us, right?
Yeah.
So, Sister Maya, you just shared, that not public speaking, but what is something else that internally that, that has made you stop, probably in the past, or something that you want to work towards, overcoming to, really get to what God has in store for you, those internal bondages or
Yeah.
external.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it all kind of goes hand in hand. Public speaking is definitely my thing that I would run for the hills.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh, you're doing an amazing job. You have to help
no,
me.
you have no clue. Like I said, I'm a behind the scenes girl.
Mhm.
I do not like, being having to say things to public, and I'm glad you did well for presentations. That was not me. But something that I always think is interesting is that
Mm,
I think these insecurities that we face is
mhm,
the devil trying to block us from
mhm,
going back to the greater good, like from being able to make an impact.
mhm.
Because the things that we're doing, like it's not for us. It's not just because we like doing it or whatever.
Right,
It not at all, but because we know it's going to bless someone. And if
right.
there's one person who's watching this or anything else that's posted, engaged, if there's anyone who watches that and is blessed or gives their life to Christ because, we're simply doing it, like that makes it all worth it. And so the enemy knows that.
Yeah.
And will try to put those insecurities and things in our head to block us from doing it. So that's where I kind of had to have that revelation. And when I get there, I'm like, okay, really don't feel comfortable doing this. It scares me, but I know there it's to his glory. So I'm just gonna push myself and do it.
Amen.
Um, but yeah, I public speaking that's a big one for me. That's a really big one.
And it's so funny because with like when you overcome those things and you just laugh at them because it's just like, oh my gosh, I used to be so afraid to do X, Y, and Z, right?
Mhm.
Um, but it's
We love you too, Tia.
oh yeah, we love you too, Tia.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's those things that you overcome, and it's that's why what Bishop was talking about yesterday, I love that, because I feel like that's how it ties into the secret place as well, because in those sacred moments with God, in that secret place where we're vulnerable and we let everything down, and we don't come to him like hiding,
Mhm.
we're going to him boldly, and we're saying like, this is the time that I want to spend with God. He is going to remove those things, and that's the beautiful alignment when it comes to it, the,
Mhm.
the connection with it, right?
Yeah, and
So
even if it's not removing the fear, I think
mhm,
that God blesses you or gives you with a way to push past it.
yes.
Even just thinking about Moses and how he
Hmm.
had a speech impediment and all he said to God, "Are you talking to me?" You know?
Absolutely.
Aaron was there to
Yeah.
help him in that process. So, I think it's natural for people to have those insecurities or those blocks, but you know, you just take a step back
Just
and
keep swimming.
just keep swimming. And see, like, what's there? God's not going to leave you out there empty-handed to,
Absolutely.
as what does Bishop say? Like, he would not uh put you in a position without giving you the tools to do
Mhm.
it or something like that, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Can you actually highlight Sylvia's comment? I saw a little bit of it, but I didn't
This
see.
one,
Yes. So go
mm,
ahead. Can you read it? I can't really.
sure. No in context.
Just look right.
I loved how Bishop spoke about enlarging our tents and also alluding to how our thinking is not big enough for how God wants to use us. Mhm.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm touching and agreeing with that, Sister Sylvia, because because that's what we have. We have to get out of our own way. We have to start thinking like the way God wants us to start thinking. And
Mhm.
then that's how we're going to start moving. So if you are already in your head saying that, I can do this, I can do this, then you're going to do it because you keep saying that you're adamant about doing it, right?
Yeah.
So the it's a beautiful thing. I'm loving that, the Secret Place series, but I also love everything that Passion Week had in store, especially that sermon. And something that I want to say to anyone that's watching, I just want to encourage you guys that just keep, like we said, keep swimming, keep going. Life gets hard. You're going to have some good days, you're going to have some bad days, but as long as you keep getting up, what's that saying? You may fall 6 times, but you'll get up 7. So
Mhm.
just know that you'll get up, and God is always there to provide for you, right?
Mhm.
So again, guys, this Passion Week has been an amazing week. So many things have been posted. So many new gems have been dropped that, I wrote down in my notes that I'm going to, keep in my little prayer book when I need to go refer back to something. But I do encourage you guys to go back and watch it. Like Deacon Antoine says all the time, watch it, meditate on it, watch it again, then apply it, then go back and watch it again because you may forget about it. But it's
Mhm.
so true. Those little things that we say, those little sayings, they actually they hold a lot of weight because there is truth behind them. Like sometimes we may watch a service and we need to go back and watch it again, or it may be a worship service that we watched and that worship was so good. Go back and watch it again because when it comes to those different videos and that content, it sets us up to really receive what God is trying to teach us so then we can apply it, right, Sister Mai?
Absolutely.
So, Sister Mai, we had a busy week for Passion Week.
Mhm.
So, what do we have coming up this week? Because
So
I know it's a lot.
we are back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Yes.
So we have a rebroadcast of the encounter tonight at 7 p.m.
Hmm.
And then tomorrow at 7 p.m., we are back with the Link Couples Ministry.
Woo!
Reverend White and Deaconess Lisa are back for part 2 of their conversation, and they are talking about transition, which is a
Mhm.
word that I think we all could stand to hear. And then we're
Absolutely.
back on Wednesday with Bishop and Pastor Nick, the dynamic duo,
Mhm.
for another conversation. Of course, the worship that night is going to be amazing, so definitely want to make sure that you tune in for that. Saturday, On Point Radio, again with Bishop and Pastor Nick, where they talk about politics, sports, culture, anything and everything.
Everything under the sun.
Everything. They will talk about it on Saturday at 9 a.m. And then later in that evening, we have Emerging Worship at 6 p.m. Pastor Nick is going to deliver another epic word for our teens or young adults, but really anyone can be blessed by what he has to say. So tune in on Saturday at 6 p.m. Oh, and then we have a full day of worship on Sunday, starting with Engage Live at 7:50,
Mhm.
and then the encounter at 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. So at the 8 a.m. service is going to be our uh, online service.
Mhm.
I'm trying to take this thing down so I can see you guys. It's going to be our online service.
Yes.
And then at 11 a.m., Bishop announced yesterday that we will be having outdoor service
Yes.
every Sunday at 11 a.m.
Yes.
weather, pending. If it's raining, we're gonna have to, have it online. But
Yeah.
it really is a great time. So if you are in the Lindenwold area, the tri-state area, or just want to come and visit, definitely make sure to come and fellowship with us on Sunday at 11 a.m. We have seats that are going to be out for everyone.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's great. Going back to that corporate worship, like Sunday at 11 is the perfect time. The weather's going to be nice um,
Yeah.
coming Sunday. So hope that you guys will tune in with us.
Yeah, make sure that you invite someone out and
Yeah.
bring your friend, bring your neighbor, bring
Mm-hmm.
someone. There's enough chairs out there. What I
Mm-hmm.
love, people brought their own chairs. They were
Yeah.
like, it was like a football game out there. They were sitting on the sidewalk with their lawn chairs.
Right.
I loved it. I loved it. So, the weather's going to be even better next weekend. So make sure
Mm-hmm.
that you come out and worship with us at 11 o'clock next Sunday, right?
Absolutely. And then the following Monday at 12 p.m., Pastor Nick and myself will be back for Maximize Monday. And then Kev, myself, the whole recap team will be back again for the recap. So
Yes.
that's it in a nutshell of what's happening these next few days.
Absolutely. And I think Tanya, do you know if Sunday outside service is online? Yes, it is
Yes.
online.
hmm It will be in person as well as online. So if you
Yeah.
can make it out, Tanya, we'd love to see you. But if not, we will see you online too.
And I also want to challenge you guys. Now, we love when people travel. I think last week we had someone travel from up North Jersey.
Mhm.
If you are traveling somewhere that's not like local, let us know so we can shout you
Yeah.
guys out. We would love to show you a whole lot of love, show you how what we do here in person, what we're going to do outside for outside service. So if you see anyone on the engaged team, let them know that, hey, I'm such and such. I'm traveling from, from maybe Delaware, or I'm traveling from New York. Let us know so we can show you a whole lot of love and shout you out as well, because we want to show you that Bethany love, right?
Absolutely.
So again, it's an amazing Passion Week. I encourage you guys to please go back and watch it. Go back and watch service as well. There's a rebroadcast happening at 7 o'clock. But yes, we are going to come. We're having service tonight, Keisha, at 7 p.m. It's a rebroadcast.
hmm
So make sure that you tune in tonight. And, as Sister Maya said, we will be back next Monday with another recap. And, we hope to see a lot of you guys out on Sunday for 11 o'clock service. All right, Bethany family, be blessed, be safe, and just keep on loving up on your neighbor. See you next time.
Bye, guys. Love y'all.